The shot that you can see right now is not shot on a professional cinema camera. It's actually shot on the iPhone 14 Pro. We're also using a cage, we're also using an anamorphic lens, and we're also using a wireless microphone system. All of this is handled by a gimbal. Zhiyun has just announced their all-new Crane M3s, and this is actually a hybrid gimbal. So this works with smartphones. You can also use your smartphone naked without any add-ons, but it also works with your professional camera. In this video, I will take a closer look at it, and in the end, we will find out if it's worth getting. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Julian. I'm the creator of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, and on this channel we talk about making fantastic looking videos using our smartphones. I share tips and tricks, I make in-depth tutorials, and I also review the latest and greatest gear, so in case you're not subscribed already, make sure to do so now to not miss any of the future coverage. Today we will be talking about this gimbal right here. The Crane M3 is a smartphone gimbal on steroids, or you could also call it a hybrid gimbal. What does that mean? That means you can not only use it with your smartphone as I'm doing right now, but you can also use small mirrorless camera. I will mainly focus on the capabilities when using it with a smartphone, but just so that you know, I have been using it with a Canon R8 and a 16mm lens, and I got some fantastic results and it was working no problem. This is, by the way, a killer setup, so in case you're looking for that and you happen to have a small lightweight mirrorless camera, this is also a fantastic gimbal for that. Anyways, let's start with the basics. In the box you get a great carrying case, the gimbal itself, a mini table tripod, a phone mount, and all the necessary cables. The carrying case looks absolutely fantastic. It's the same like before, but I still just love that. The gimbal does look pretty much identical to its predecessor, but I still think that this is one of the most beautiful smartphone gimbals out there. I like the color combination with the black and white and with the red accent somewhere. So for me personally, I think this is one of the most awesome looking smartphone gimbals that you can get. Considering the powerhouse that you get, I think this gimbal is also very compact. You can take it with you on the go easily. The carrying case is perfect for that. So overall, I really like it. Using this gimbal is basically very simple and very intuitive. You have a bunch of different buttons, but if you use it, you will get used to it very, very quickly. On the gimbal, you get a small but nice looking touchscreen that you can use to navigate through the menu. The menu is very straightforward and very easy to use. At the top left, you can change between all the different modes, and there are a ton of different modes. You got the pan follow, the lock, the POV, the go, the vortex, and a portrait mode. The flexibility that you get with this huge amount of different modes is just fantastic, and you will be able to create basically any video using this setup. As I was using this gimbal for about 90% of all of the shots, I was just using the regular follow mode, but I also really enjoyed the go mode. That's kind of like a sports mode where you get to move around extremely fast and the gimbal is following around very, very fast. You can use this for basketball or for any kind of fast activities. You can also use that to follow your kids when they are, I don't know, jumping in the trampoline or running on the beach, for example. The vortex mode is also fantastic as you get a full 360-degree spin without any limits at all. I think it's also super convenient that you get a portrait mode with this gimbal, but I think the way on how it works and the way on how it's handled, I think it's not ideal. So if you mainly want to shoot vertical video, I think this might not be the absolute best gimbal out there. Coming now back to the menu, next to the modes, you can tap on the balance, and there you can see how well your gimbal is balanced. This is also definitely very, very helpful if you're struggling to find the perfect balance, as you can see which of the motors are struggling. If you want to fine-tune the balance or fiddle around with the different settings in general, you can go into the settings, and there you can auto-calibrate the gimbal, you can manually tweak it, you can program different buttons, and overall you can just, manipulate the gimbal or individualize the gimbal just as you like it. I like it that all of these things happen directly on the gimbal. You do not need any third-party app or anything. You can do all of this on the gimbal, and I really like this. I have been shooting with this gimbal for about 2 weeks now, and it performs like clockwork. Like I said, I have also tested it with the Canon R8 with a 16mm lens, and that also works surprisingly well, and it was just a super fun setup. I have also used it with my iPhone 14 Pro and also with the Galaxy S23 Ultra. There it also works extremely fine. You know, considering the amount of payload that this gimbal can handle, you just got lots of room when using it with your smartphone. In the package, you of course also get a phone mount, so you can also use your phone naked without any add-ons. But what I think is way more important is that you can put your phone into a cage, you can put on add-on lenses, you can put on a microphone or filters or whatever, and it basically will always handle this easily. I know that many people are looking for exactly this, a strong smartphone or hybrid gimbal that does not limit them when they are filming with their smartphone and add-ons. Just getting proper audio using a smartphone and a gimbal has always been a struggle, but with this gimbal it's just a piece of cake. The cage that I was using for my testing with my iPhone 14 Pro is the one from SmallRig. I also tested it with a bunch of different lenses with filters. I also attached the new Rode Wireless ME, and overall this is just a very awesome setup to capture some crispy footage and smooth footage of course, and also some clean audio at the same time. The shots that you can get with this gimbal are very smooth as expected. You will get the most stunning shots when you're using it with a good smartphone and an ultra wide angle lens. I have been using this with the iPhone 14 Pro, and with the HDR mode and with the stabilization, these shots are just stunning. But of course you can also get some great shots with the cinematic mode or portrait mode, and also with the telephoto lens. I like shooting, you know, with a gimbal and a smartphone and a telephoto lens. You can create some very unique kind of shots that you're just not used to seeing from a smartphone. Next up, let's talk about things that aren't that great. There is no dedicated app for this gimbal, as I've said before, that you can use with your smartphone. You do have an app that you can use to control the gimbal, but it's not meant to be shooting, you know, with a smartphone. If you're using this app, it's meant, you know, to have a camera on the gimbal and you can control the gimbal with your smartphone. So for us smartphone filmmakers, it's probably not ideal. For me personally though, it's not a big issue, as I barely ever use these, you know, native gimbal apps anyways, as I just feel like I can get better quality if I'm using the native camera app or a third-party app such as Filmic Pro or the Beastcam app. The balancing process is also a bit more complex compared to your regular smartphone gimbal, but in return you also get much more flexibility so that you can use bigger and heavier setups, so you can just, you know, fine-tune it and overall balance it way more precise. But overall, to be honest, there is not a lot to dislike about this gimbal, as it just performs extremely well. So who should get this gimbal? If you have a small mirrorless camera, or you want to use your smartphone with add-ons such as mics and cages and add-on lenses and filters or anything like this, I guess this is the gimbal for you. The gimbal is not for you if you only want to use your smartphone without any accessories, as I think there are cheaper options that will also be easier to use for you in that scenario. Overall, I gotta say this is a fantastic gimbal that will always deliver extremely fine, and you can't really go wrong with it. In conclusion, the Crane M3s is a fantastic gimbal if you want to use it with your smartphone and also with some add-on. Also, huge thanks to Zhiyun for sending me this unit up front and also for supporting the channel. But everything that I'm saying in this video and basically in all videos is always 100% my true and honest opinion, because otherwise I wouldn't do these reviews. If you want a smaller and more lightweight and a bit more easy to use smartphone gimbal and you do not need all the add-ons, then click this video over there. This is a review of the smaller brother, the Smooth 5S.